Welcome everybody to the Built for Anything podcast, man. I got my man right here, Onaji Ali, Double O, aka 23 Cups. Welcome to the podcast, my brother. How's it going today, man?
What's up? What's up? Everything's good.
Glad to have you, man. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about yourself, man, because, you know, I know you're new to my audience here,
Right.
but I know that you're into music, you're into entertainment.
Right.
Tell us, if you could summarize yourself, man, how would you summarize yourself?
Entertainer, music lover, artist. Just great energy to be around,
I know you do some shows as well, so you do some marketing, what do you call it when you're hosting?
Right.
I know you do a lot of hosting in the area. You did something in my area actually not too long ago.
Right.
We'll talk about that. But let's start with the music, man, because I love music. I grew up listening to 90s music. As you can see, I got the Notorious one up on the wall.
The Biggie.
So in New York, I listen to a lot of hip hop, a lot of rap. And I know the music nowadays has changed a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't knock it per se, because I understand every generation has their own, music that they kind of align to, same as I did, and one's older than me in their generation.
Right.
But I feel like the music today, I think the kids, or the people that, specifically the kids that are listening to it, I feel like they're taking it really true to heart and actually doing some of the things that are being rapped about or being sung about, and it's actually becoming detrimental to them. So, like, what do you think about that? And what kind of music do you try to put out there?
I mean, do you kind of feel like music's always done that? But like even your time or even time before and more.
Yeah, because I mean, even back in the day, it was about drug dealing, and that was kind of like what was being glorified. But I feel like even though guys were telling, like, they were more into storytelling, right? Like Nas told stories, Biggie told stories, Jay told stories, even about the experiences. Right. But they always kind of said it in a way like it led down a dark path. Like the people around me either locked up or then dead or something. So even though you were listening to it and you might have liked the rhymes or whatever, you kind of knew like, okay, this is a guy rapping about it, saying he's glad to be away from it. You see what I'm saying? Not saying like he wants to go back and stay in that environment. He's saying, man, I grew up messed up, and now I'm taking care of my peoples. Where now I feel like it's more. And you probably hear this all the time, but it's more like drug related. It's more like, who could get turned up the most, or who could get high the most. And it's like just really being just crazy about it. So that's why I kind of see the differences, where it's like, okay, it's one thing to enjoy the music, it's another thing to actually go and pop a bunch of pills and shit. You know what I mean? So that's why I didn't know, like what do you think about the whole culture now?
I mean, I feel like it's an attention game now, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what can I do to get the most attention on top of whatever lifestyle is being portrayed or lived or whatever it is that people want to do? It's just about putting that energy out there, whatever it is that you want. And if you feel like that's your market to talk about those things and whatever the case may be, then of course I'm going to hit it full force and say I'll take whatever, because that's the market. At the end of the day, it is a business, and it's your responsibility to accept that energy or whatever the case may be, or the parents' responsibility to know what the kids are listening to and what they're ingesting. Because I feel you. Yeah, when you're younger, you do look up to them like they're stars and everything like that. But as you get older, you realize like, oh, it is just business. It is just smoke and mirrors at times, this, that, and the third. So, I don't really know if it's the artist's responsibility. It just depends on the artist. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know what the artist's end goal is or whatever, It might just be somebody, hey, this is what got me out of this situation. I'm going to keep doing it. And as opposed to somebody who's a little more conscious of what they're doing and saying and things of that nature,
So what got you into music?
My uncle.
Okay.
Yeah, he makes beats, and he's an artist too. And he like wrote a rap for me when I was little. you know, and I think I was too embarrassed to do it for him or something like that. And then I was like, nah, fuck that. Like, I got this, you know what I'm saying? And from there, I just started writing my own raps, this, that, and the third. And I've always been like an entertainer and stuff. So I always wanted to do talent shows. And then when I got in like 4th grade, I finally like wrote a song, did a talent show, and just went from there pretty much.
You know, it's interesting you said that, like it kind of started at a young age. What I notice is a lot of like, especially the past entertainers, like the Whitney Houstons, the Michael Jacksons, even the Chris Browns, like usually their talents kind of date back to when they were kids, and you can kind of look at them and say, you know, this kid, like he might be something, you know?
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, but what's insane, I was just watching an old home video when I was like 4 or 5, no, probably like 6. And I was vlogging, like talking, like, you know, like a show, all that stuff. So yeah, and it's like the same stuff you're doing today. So it's like,
that's what's up. So how would you categorize your music that you do? Like, is it rap? Is it R&B? Is it, you know, like what category would you put it in?
Just good energy.
Okay.
That's what I would do. Because some days I feel like rapping. Some days I feel like fake singing, you know? Just whatever I feel. Whatever the energy the beat gives me, that's the energy I'm going to put back. But always positive, good, or, you know, whatever mood I'm in. You know?
So we're gonna try to break this up into 2 things, right? The artist, the individual, right? So I'm sure people can see the 23 cups right there on the table, right? It's 23. I counted it too, so it's verified.
Yeah, always.
How did you come about that? How did you develop that persona? You know, what made you kind of pick that as a name and as a brand?
I mean, I didn't pick it. I just I'm not afraid to like do anything or lose anything because I don't have nothing to lose. You know, I don't have kids. I don't, you know what I mean? I can do whatever I want, and I just did it, and the people chose it. The people decided, oh, that's how I remember you. Oh, that's how I know you. Oh, that's how, you know what I'm saying? So why, you know, go away from what's working? That's how.
So 23, you know, 23, the number 23 is a powerful number, man.
Right.
You know, if you really dig deep into it.
Right.
Obviously, you know, when I think 23, I think MJ. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan. You know, so let's talk about like how you kind of came to that conclusion in terms of like developing the 23 cups. Right. Because would you say, you know, your personality, is that who you are? Like, are you that type of person where it's just high energy, or are you someone who's kind of really mellow, but just gives you an outlet to just kind of, because you always hear about artists that, for example, like a Beyonce, right? Where, you know, she has like this alter ego, you know, Sasha Fierce, and, you know, other artists that have like this other ego where it's separate. When they get on stage, they can kind of tap into that, right? Is that kind of the same for you, or is that just who you are?
I would say it's like that as well. Cause like we're just chilling right now, we're talking. There's no reason for me to bring out that power or that energy for, you know, just to waste it. You know, I want to use it on stage when I have attention. You know, cause in my mind and when I'm making music, I know what I'm creating, I know what I'm doing. So it's like it's a time and a place for that energy. And then when I feel that energy or get nervous, I know it need to be used at that time. You know, so that's how. Yeah, it's kind of like an alter ego, but I wouldn't say it's like who I really am, but it's just like the desire of what I want to do in that moment. It's like, this is the opportunity to do it. So it's like.
So it's the music. It's, I know you do the hosting.
Right.
What are some of the other things that you do?
Just entertaining.
I know you do some skits,
right?
From time to time, right, on Instagram and
some acting,
YouTube. So some acting,
I'm modeling, whatever.
Okay, some modeling too. I hear you. A
little bit.
So it's who would you say is like your target? Like, do you find it's more the younger generation, the teenagers? Like, who do you find that kind of gravitates towards what you put out there the most?
Women and kids.
Okay.
All right. So that's like what I want to stick to, because it's like the kids are gonna grow up with me and still support me, you know, and the women, they always gonna hold you down. So it's like, that's who I see gravitating towards my music.
So who are some of the artists that today that you look up to, or you kind of, I don't say you tailor your music around them, but like, because I'm a firm believer sometimes you take a little bit from everyone, right? Like, who are some of your influences that you kind of pull a little bit from to kind of help do your music?
I mean, I like Sway Lee from Ray Sherman.
Mm-hmm.
I like Sauce Walker. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
I heard Ray Sherman.
Right. Yeah. Well, I like Sauce Walker too. He's a rapper from Houston.
Mm-hmm. We was talking about Future.
Yeah,
earlier,
I like Future.
Right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I know everybody like Future.
Yeah, Future.
I feel like he kind of, I don't know. I feel like he kind of segued a lot of this new music.
Right.
Man.
Yeah. Exactly.
I feel like it started with him.
That's why I'm saying he's
You know
like a legend. Cause
him, Gucci a little bit. It's. I feel like it started in Wayne probably a little bit before that, right? Wayne was going hard for a while, and then he kind of started to slow down as he started having his little issues, and then it's like Future kind of came on board. 2 Chainz kind of was really just beasting out a bunch of music. But I agree with you. I feel like Future's the one that kind of ushered in a lot of this new music, man. The 21 Savages, etc. Like, I feel like he kind of brought all those guys in through the back door. And that's the thing with music, right? Like, I feel like, with music, it only takes one artist to really kind of break through, and then all of a sudden, they're able to all you see is a bunch of other people come right after them, right? That's just kind of like how the cycle's always been. How far do you want to like really take your music? Like, are you at a point where you take it really seriously? Is it something that you still just kind of dabble in? Like, how far do you want to take your career?
As far as it can go, but I'm aware and appreciative of whatever fans that I get, or the people who support me, or things like that. I got to be grateful for that and appreciate that, and not worry about the big picture. And I mean, I know what I want the big picture to be, but I still need to focus on the depth and the people that I already have, because we're only gonna grow from that. It's not gonna. It doesn't happen like people think, So, but I mean, as big as I can be, pretty much.
So, what's in my playlist right now, right, is basically mostly again, rap, like Biggie, Jay, Kanye, etc. Like, what's in your playlist right now? Like, what are you playing over and over when you at the gym or whatever? Like, what's in your ear right now?
Like Trippie Redd, Sway Lee, myself. I switch it up with some like classical, a few oldies, like old rock, like old like full of melodies and stuff. Like I was just listening in the car to like this old X-Men melody, but it was like some women, like da-na-na-na-na-na. Yeah, just a little bit of everything, really.
So where is your music right now? Is it on SoundCloud? Is it on like where do you have it on?
Everything, Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, wherever you go listen to music at, it's on it.
So you obviously then been working with producers and beat makers, etc. Like, tell me, what's that experience like? Like, I've never been in a studio session. Like, I want you to describe a studio session with 23 cups in there. Like, what is it like? What's the environment like?
I mean, it kind of really depends on the beat, So it's like sometimes the lights are on, sometimes the lights are off. The color, that makes a difference. Sometimes people smoking in there or not. That could make a difference drinking. Sometimes though, if you do too much of that, you're not gonna get nothing done. So you gotta kind of stay kind of balanced, But really, if we make a beat from scratch, they just make the beat, and I'm just trying to freestyle off what they making. And if it grows into a hook, the beat obviously grows, and then we just keep building like Legos. That's pretty much a session. But or they just play beats for me and I just keep freestyling. That's really all it is. It's just they play beats or they start playing with keys and I'm freestyling trying to find the melody or the hook or, you know, whatever it is that I want to talk about. But the mood is always set by the sounds, because like you're creating vibrations. So it's like when you're talking to the water and then, you know, the vibrations, so they're creating the vibrations that's making me freestyle or feel a certain way, you know. So it's like that's what really sets it, because the vibration that I'm getting from the beat is making me vibrate, and then when I'm recycling that energy into the mic, it's gonna make you do the same thing. So it's like it's off of that. It starts from there.
So you mentioned, you know, there's alcohol, there's women in there too, right? There's no women, no distractions.
No.
It's just you gotta stay focused.
Sometimes it's alcohol. Sometimes, not all the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've done a lot of songs completely sober, nothing. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be those elements. It just really depends on the producer that I'm working with. If they smoke or if they use that. You see what I'm saying?
I got you.
If they don't do nothing and we could do that too, you know? It don't matter to me. You know?
What's the longest you've been like in a session, like all night, 8 hours, 9 hours? Like what's the longest you've been just grinding out music?
I mean, I really don't count the hours like that.
So that means it's a long time.
Yeah. Because it takes, I mean, to make one song sometimes it could take 5 minutes. It could take 5 minutes. But to actually like make a good quality song, for me, it's going to take 2 hours at least, you know, because you got to get the beat, this, that, and the third, record, you know. So 2 hours on one song, you might do 5 songs, and, you know.
So you performed in front of crowds before, right?
Yeah.
What was that like your first time, man?
It was like a high. It was like I'm doing this for the rest of my life. Yeah. I saw the control I saw how everybody was responding to me. I just fell in love with it, how it made me feel, and I was like, I'm gonna be a rapper, you know.
How long ago was that?
That was when I did
first experience.
Like 2003. So I was like, I don't know, like
that's a while ago.
11, 12.
So you first rocked the stage at 11.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So is that here? Because we obviously we're here in Texas now. So I probably should have asked you that. Did you grow up here?
Yeah.
So a lot of your performances, everything
is here. Yeah.
Was here. Okay. So the crowd was real receptive.
Yeah.
It was a crowd of your peers, people around your age, older. Do you remember at the time?
I mean, we in school, so it's just the kids at school. Okay. But it's still like dead silent. But when I say this, everybody's screaming. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like it's kids, but it's still like all eyes on me. You know, they ain't on no phones. There ain't nothing else to do. They watching you. You know.
Mm-hmm. So I know you say you do the hosting from time to time.
Right.
How do you leverage that to kind of do your own thing, right? Because when you're hosting, you're not necessarily performing, right? Like you're usually there just kind of keep the crowd going, keep the party going.
Right.
How do you then try to use that experience or that relationship to be like, hey, you know, I perform as well. You know, maybe I could do a show here or whatever. Like, were you able to kind of flip that opportunity into a performance for yourself? Has that happened yet?
I mean, yeah. On some occasions, it just depends on my relationship with whoever I'm hosting for. You know, I've done it sometimes, but usually I just use that leverage to get my name out there, my brand out there. And if they like me, then they're gonna like the music. Usually, that's how it works today. You know, like people don't want to listen to you unless they know who you are. Like, who are you? Why am I giving you my time? You know, so it's like. That's the leverage. Like, you have to see me. You have to listen to me. You have to, like, I'm in your face all night. You have to. So that's how I know. If they like me, they're going to look me up. They're going to rock with me. If they see, oh, you make music too. You know, that's for them. I had to be an entertainer first. And then, you know, if they like the music, then.
So you mentioned the brand. How would you categorize your brand then? Like, who is 23 Cups as the brand? What do you want people to know about the brand itself?
Just high energy, positivity, love, turn, you know, whatever. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to associate this with alcohol or partying, even though most people do, but you don't have to. Like, that's not what I associate it with. You know what I'm saying?
So I think that's really needed nowadays, man. Like, again, I think going back to music, like music is energy, right? It's good vibes. Like, you should be able to listen to music and remember where you were at the time.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? When you first heard it, or when it was like a really good time. And I feel like the music today kind of got away from that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really about that timeless, you know, moment. It's like everything moves so fast. It's like, it's hot today. 2 days later, it's gone. Another song, then another song. Because there's so many outlets now. There's SoundCloud. There's, you know, people just dropping music every single day. Where it's not like, you know, preparation for an album, a rollout, that type of thing. It's like everything is like boom, 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 boom. So you can't even, like, we seen Kanye drop, he produced like several people's albums over the last couple of weeks. I feel like I can't even remember half of the content because, you know, Pusha came out, then right after that was Ye, and then right after that was I can't remember the other dude name, and then it was Nas shortly after that, Tiana Taylor, and I'm like, wait, hold on, I ain't even really did Drake drop, and it's like I ain't even get to really digest the Nas yet. I ain't get to really, so I feel like the music is going so fast where it's like a month from now you ask me, I'm like, he did drop an album a couple weeks ago. It's like nobody's talking about it.
Because everybody's fighting for attention, you know. And it's just like, if you're on your phone and doing whatever it is that you're doing, you have everything at the access of your fingertips. So everybody fighting for attention. That's why you got to do that. You know, ain't nobody, every day's a new day. You got to, you know, I need new content. I need to see you, or they're going to forget about you.
So I know, is that how you're using Instagram? Like, is that a way for you to kind of stay in people's ears, even if you're not dropping music every single day per se? But that's a way where, so tell me about that then. So do you try to make sure that, you know, you have something every single day that you put out? Is it twice a week, 3 times a week? Like, what's your schedule like for yourself?
Really with that right now, it's not a schedule with it. It's usually if I just am inspired or I see something, like, you know, if I see anything, then I'm like, okay, I want to do something with this. Like, I seen the pool in the house, and I was like, immediately it hit me. The idea just hit me, and when it hit me, you just got to act on it. But I would like to do something every day. I just need to get a little bit more prepared with it. Because I don't want to just put out stuff that's just pointless. But at the same time, if it's entertaining, you might have to. So, you know, they're coming soon. They're gonna come soon, more frequently, but at least 2 or 3 times a day for sure.
So have you worked with other artists locally? You've worked with a couple people as well. Like, did you ever have? You don't gotta name names, but have you ever been in a situation where you just like, this don't really vibe with what I'm doing? You know what I mean? Or it's like, you feel like you had to compromise what, again, your brand is, high energy positivity, with some, you know, like, did you ever have that moment where it's just like, you know, I kind of don't really, maybe we don't really rock together, you know, our music probably don't really go together. Like, have you ever had that experience, or you just kind of like, all right, I'll just make an adjustment or whatever and keep it moving? It
just depends on like how I value them or their work or whatever the case may be. If I feel like they have potential, we can keep working and keep growing and everything like that, then I'll sacrifice some things and keep working with them till we get to that point. But if they're already established and we're like getting in there and it's not vibing or clicking, it just ain't meant to be. They gonna know that energy, I'm gonna know that energy, we gonna keep it moving. It's not really like nah bro, it didn't work out. It was just like, I'll catch you another time, you know, just like, it just didn't work like that.
So you mentioned you're young. How old are you now?
23.
20.
No, I'm 25, but you know, I'm 23.
Okay. Right. So, you know, you being young, any women in the life?
Nah.
So you're able to stay focused. Kids?
No kids.
Okay, so you're able to stay focused.
I mean, there's women, but
right.
I mean, there's not like a relationship type thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the time right now. You know.
Are you you open to balancing the two? Like, do you
not
feel?
Really?
Because you kind of know you gotta direct your attention to this, getting this off the ground.
I mean, it's like I grew up with having my own room, so it's like that's how I kind of look at the world. Even though the world doesn't revolve around me, but at the same time, I'm in control of what I'm in control of. So it's like,
I agree.
If you not on what I'm on, I don't got time, you know. It's like I don't have time for a no, or like no, you know what I'm saying? This is how it's gonna go, and if they can't rock with that, it's not my fault, because you're not gonna live out my dreams, put the work in and all that stuff. I gotta do that. You know?
So, if you get really deep into the lifestyles and artists, and if you're touring or doing anything remotely,
right,
out there, they kind of come with the territory.
Right.
Are you kind of prepared? Are you prepared for that lifestyle? Right, the lifestyle of always on the run, on the go. Like, is that something like you really welcome? Like, you feel like you could really take that on?
I feel like I had no choice, so if that's what comes with it, that's what comes with it. That's what I chose. That's what I picked. So it's like either I got to get with it or get lost. So it's like I can't really think about it. I got to have the principles over the emotions of how I feel about it. It's like, if that's what I got to do, that's what I got to do.
So obviously it's going to take a lot of focus. A lot of people are doing music, right? Let's just call it what it is, right? It's just like sports. Like, people want to play basketball, people want to play football. Only certain people actually make it, right? What other things are you passionate about, or that you kind of like, or you feel, if the music thing, doesn't manifest in a couple years or whatever, that maybe you see yourself doing, even if it's still related to music management, whatever. Like, do you see other things in your horizon?
I mean, if people see me doing other things, if people, then that's what it's gonna be. But for me, for me being selfish, is music. I know a lot of people are doing music, but a lot of people ain't good at doing music. A lot of people don't know how to brand doing music. A lot of people don't know how to perform. Like, yeah, they doing it, don't mean they doing it right, A lot of people play basketball. Somebody playing basketball right now, they're not LeBron, So it's like, I don't think about that type of stuff. Yeah.
So I know you mentioned acting is another thing that you like to do as well. I
mean, it's fun, it's cool, but it's not like something I'm just like, I want to do this, I don't really, because to be honest with you, I'll play the same role. I don't have the desires to be a lead character, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So it's kind of like your music then, you see, the acting is very close to the music, because it allows you to, like you said, being on stage and kind of controlling the crowd. Acting is kind of similar. You're able to detach a bit from who you are, or what, your world, and, act in this made up world where, music, you're creating something, from an experience. Or like you said, you might feel, empowered by something or enlightened by something. You're like, yo, I got to make a song about that. So are you the type, you walk around with a pen and a pad? Is it just jotting down things on the phone? Like, what's your process like away from the studio?
Away from the studio, freestyles. Okay. Sometimes I like rap in my head and I'll jot that down, or I listen to a song and then I'll just start rapping in my head and I'll write that down. But other than that, I don't really write a lot. I do write, but like I said, it depends on the production. It all starts with that. If the production leads me to write, then I'll sit down for the hours it takes to write it. But usually sometimes I jot things down, but usually play beats and just freestyle. And then I record myself freestyling so I can go back if I need it.
Do you write? Have you ever written for other people?
Nah. I mean, yeah, but not like for real. Well, like if the homie in the studio, okay, like that, but not like somebody else. That's actually like.
So it's funny, right?
I've been asked, but it didn't happen.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on that though? Because obviously you got big artists like Drake. People talk about him not writing his rhymes, and he even admitted he collaborated with somebody, but he's basically saying like that doesn't mean they write every single thing that I write. Like, you as somebody who's an artist or really deep into music, like what do you think about that? You think that that's you not a real MC if you don't write your own stuff? Like, is that really bad for an artist?
I think it just, if you love hip hop, I think that's just a hip hop thing. to be honest with you. If you're not a hip hop head or you didn't grow up listening to hip hop, or you don't care about that stuff. They look at it as marketing, as money, is whatever it can manifest with attention. So I don't necessarily have a problem with it, because it's like, we're trying to make hits. We're trying to make songs that last 5, 6, 7 years. If it takes 7 people to make a song, so be it. If it takes 7 people to set all this stuff up, so be it. Like, that's like
you know what it is for me. First of all, especially like, all right, we know most R&B artists, that's common. That's common. Like, that's nobody thinks twice about that. Yeah. That's usual. Some of Beyonce's biggest hits Neo wrote, like other people wrote. But she sang it, artists, you give her credits, whatever.
Right.
Back in the day, there were a lot of rappers that used to write for other rappers. Biggie used to write for a lot of rappers. Jay wrote for Jermaine Dupri. Like, a lot of these people who you knew, but the people who you knew weren't rappers. Like, we know Puff isn't he's not a lyricist.
Right.
So you knew his rhymes was coming from somebody, but he said it his way. He has the money to back up the talk. So it's like, it's whatever.
Right.
I think the problem comes when somebody who's claiming to be an MC, you know what I mean? And saying like, yo, I'm gonna murder this dude, or I'm gonna murder, he's not on my level, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Then once you get that kind of braggadocious, it's like, hold on, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't be saying that and then somebody, if you just gonna ride, the sidelines, we leave you alone. But I think when you start talking that talk, king of this and all of that, it's like, wait, hold on, somebody writing your rhymes, bro.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I also feel like too, if you're that confident MC, whatever the case may be, if you are gonna be braggadocious, 9 times out of 10, I feel like you're gonna write your own stuff, just because you don't want nobody else. You want that credit, like, I wrote this, But I feel you though. I mean, I don't know people who do that, but that is crazy.
But it's funny you say, like, in the studio, like, you'll have a homie and you kind of cross. Like, I believe that could happen, right? Like, and that happens with everybody.
Yeah, that
like,
happens
I don't
to
care
me.
who you. Jay, like, I know Kanye, if they in the studio together, he's like, hey, Jay, say it like this, or and Jay's probably like, oh, yeah, say it like that. Like, I feel like that happens, right, from a creativity point, but that's not like, you can't then run out on the street and be like, yo, I wrote that rhyme, I told what to say. It's right. You know what I mean? So I think people get it confused. You know what I mean? That process with literally, what kind of song you trying to make? All right, give me 5 minutes. Boom, 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 boom. Say that.
Correct.
That's different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When
an influence versus a script.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So, what's the most you've been around? Like, how many people you've been around? Like, creatively? Like, were you ever in a situation like 10 people vibing together, 5 people? Like, what's the most you've been around?
Probably like 7.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people in the room. I mean, it just depends. Like, if they energy cool, I can do that. But if I don't like their energy or something with their energy, I don't want to record there, because you like fucking up my. You know what I'm saying? You like fucking it up. Like, I feel you here. I don't like that. Like, I don't. It has to be positive. It has to be, good.
Would you say your style can kind of go with an R&B artist as well? Like it's not just rapping or whatever. Right. Like, you think it's that flexible? Have you done songs where you've had people, in terms of the vibe? You mentioned that's real important. But you said you could also make music where you're working with R&B, people who sing, this and that. Because I feel like that's how music today is. It's like, you got to be able to kind of cater to both audiences, right? Like, you got to be flexible. That's the only way you're gonna really stand out.
Right.
You don't sing yourself, do you?
Yeah.
You kind of.
Yeah. I mean, I don't sing. Like, if I sang right now, you'd be like, you're not a singer. But in the studio, auto-tune, and I know what it's supposed to sound like, it's gonna sound hot. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what to do to make it sound that way. But yeah, I mean, I would say it like that.
Who'd you compare it to? I'm trying to think. Who sings? Actually, it felt like everybody. I feel like even Migos did a song where they kind of harmonized.
Yeah, if it's a harmony and a melody, you do it, That's pretty much what I do. Yeah, but I feel like my style can mix with anything. I feel like I can really do anything, but I'm aware of my strengths,
Nah, that's dope, man. You at an early point in your career, so obviously you got a long way to go, a lot of learning to go. Are you doing things to really understand the business side of it, though, in terms of the music industry? Like, do you have people around you or people that you talk to for the business side of things?
I just do it myself. Whatever the research is, whatever it is that I need to know or feel like I need to know, it's all out there. You know, it's really no excuse. So I've done my research and I've gotten paid for my radio plays and things like that. I mean, it's my dream, it's my responsibility. So it's like, I don't really have nobody in my corner, but that's how it is. Nobody gonna be in your corner until they see that you've invested in yourself, you know? So yeah, but I take it serious because it's like you have to have your music available to people, and with it changing every day, that's how you're gonna get your money. So if you don't know that stuff, then you're gonna be ass out, you know.
What are some situations that happened to you that you kind of like, I kind of learned from that experience, you know, some negative or something that you had to learn from that to be like, all right, now I know if I tell the next person who's doing what I'm doing, like, all right, try to avoid this, try to avoid that. What are some of those things?
Just in music, like, don't overthink it. Go off your feeling, you know. Don't try to make music, just make it. Do pay attention to the business side. I mean, it's kind of it all just happens as you go along, really, and how far you want to take it, you know. That's really how I look at it. I mean, I really haven't been in a situation where something bad has happened, like crazy or anything. Because like you said, I'm still early. Even though I've been rapping for this long, since 2003, I'm just now getting some internet attention and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm aware of the things I have to give up to get where I want to be, you know. But other than that, it's just gonna come along as it comes. I don't really got nothing too crucial right now.
But you got your eyes open.
Yeah,
you gotta keep your eyes open. Make sure you got the right people around you. I'm sure that. Do you have like a management team, or is it just you who kind of outsource, seek your own opportunities, decide?
It's all me. Yeah, it's nobody else. Everybody I work with, I like
communicated directly to, and
right. Like
negotiated,
I
whatever.
put forth into the relationship. Everybody I work with, you know what I'm saying?
So how did you get the gig close to where I'm at right here? Like, how did you get that hosting job? Did they reach out to you? Was that a mutual friend type of thing? Was that you was proactive enough to reach out to them, walk in there? Like, how did you get those kind of gigs?
Word of mouth.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just like people see me host at other events, and more than likely they throw events. So they're like, oh, I like this guy. And then when they throw their event, they're like, you know, who do we need or who do we know? Like, oh, 23 Cups, I saw him hosting. And like, then they contact me, you know. It's really just word of mouth. So I just got phone calls from people I know who be throwing events and stuff, and they be looking for hosting. That's how I got it.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So the word of mouth thing is critical.
Yeah, that's how I'm getting all my gigs.
Okay.
Yeah, just off word of mouth and them seeing me. Yeah.
On social media, or them actually coming to.
I think them actually seeing me in live.
Okay.
Doing it.
Okay.
You know.
And being persistent about that. See, because I wouldn't have thought that somebody who's looking to perform would kind of do the hosting, right? Because I figure you'd want to be more on the other side. But I think for your brand and what you're doing, it kind of works for you because it's attention, it's exposure nonetheless. And as your music develops and develops more, you'll be able to kind of slide that in as well and be like, hey, you know, approach the same venues on a different night and say, you know, let me get on stage, you know, let me do something, you know, I got a couple songs that's good, but that relationship is already there.
Exactly.
You know, so you're able to kind of leverage that. So it's not like a brand new relationship. It's like, oh yeah, he did something for us before. I
would just say most importantly, what separates me is I'm giving something. I'm creating value to the people throwing the event. I'm not performing. It's not all just about me. You know, so it's like that respect, it goes up more and more and more and more and more, you know? So where it's like, me and you got that relationship. Like, oh, I rap now. Oh, let me listen to it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm fucking with you because I already know you. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So talk about the grind, man. Like for the people out there who are trying to get into it, like I think a lot of people, like most people, they want to do the fast track to everything, right? Whether, you see a basketball player on TV, it's like you trying to find a fast track to get to that. You don't, like, a lot of these people who are successful, very few times do they shed light on what they had to do to get there, right? Like the hours and hours of, playing on the court, nighttime or early morning. Like, you don't hear that. It's just like, boom, I'm successful, I'm doing this. And a lot of people sit at home and figure, oh, I could do that. I'm sure it's the same thing with music. Right. They see a rapper, they're like, I could rap better, and they just think they just deserve it all in the strength for that. Talk about the grind, though. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, what's that like? Knowing that you cranking out music and probably nobody even hear it. You know what I mean? 5 people will listen to it, but you still knocking on that door. Like, talk about that grind.
I mean, you really have to stay consistent with promoting your record and who you are, because that's what it is. It's like you can make a song all day that you want, but if the people don't like it, the people don't accept you as that, it's not gonna work for you. So it's just you really gotta stay. You do gotta stay in the studio or stay working whatever music that you wanna make, but that's only half the battle. Like, being in the streets and performing and meeting the right people and doing the same song for a year, 2 years, still sending the same emails for 2 years. You still gotta you still gotta promote the record just as much as you gotta make the records. But it's really not a lot of time for anything, to be honest with you. So the things that you make time for, that's on you. But I mean, it is a lot of sacrifice, because you gotta, especially when you don't have a label or you don't have people behind you, you gotta do everything yourself. You're gonna at least give 10 hours of your day to it, at least. If you're doing both sides, the promoting and making the record.
Have you had a moment where you're just like, damn, I don't know if I should be if I'm getting anywhere with this, or if I should be doing this, or I don't know, the outside pressure. I don't know if it's family or friends or people that just kind of always want to get you into doing the normal things, the 9 to 5 things or whatever, the safe way things. And here you are trying to maybe balance that out, but also kind of pursue your goals. Like, how do you break through to that, those moments? If any, I mean, does that, I should probably start there. Does that happen to you? Do you have,
yeah.
Okay. I would imagine it does, right?
Yeah.
Most, how do you block that out and just be like, I'm gonna keep at it?
'Cause there's no choice, I know what I wanted to do. I know what is in my heart. I know I'm not doing all this shit for no reason, It's just, I know. And it's like, if I listen to you, not you, but that's not the vision I was given from that early age. So it's like, you don't have anything to show. Like, I don't mean to be a dick about it, but like, you can't tell me anything. You don't have what I want. You know what I'm saying? So how can you tell me? Like, I respect your opinion, but it's like, you don't have it. I don't give a fuck what you think. Like, that's how I do. I don't worry about it. I don't care, because it's like, I have a point to prove. I have a chip on my shoulder. I have it's in my soul. It's like, I feel some type of way when I hear other people's music and it's good. It's either it's like, damn, that shit's good, I need to step my shit up, or damn, that shit's fucking good, I want to work with them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can't breathe without it. You play a beat, I want to rap. It's in me. You know what I'm saying?
They say, you really love something when you do it for free.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of people are motivated by money. And if you're like that, you're gonna go with the win. Anybody pay you to do anything, know. But the people who really, really enjoy things, you couldn't pay them to not do it anymore. Right. That's when nah, chill. Like I really, this is what I want to do, man. Fall back. Do you feel like that's kind of like how you feel with the music, where it's like, yo, you know, it may not be where I want to be right now, but it's like, but I'm enjoying it so much. So are you just really enjoying the process and enjoying the music the way it's like things will come when they come or whatever, but you really enjoying it? Or is it really just an end game, you know?
Nah, it's definitely the process, because I get to watch the records people like, the records people don't like. I'm learning every day from it and the experiences that I'm having from it. So it's like I love the process. I love the doubts. I love the haters. I love the love. I love everything about it. I love making the songs. I love spending too long on the song. I love writing a whole song, saying fuck that song, and just doing a whole freestyle. All of it, because it's all worth it at the end, you know? It's like I get a reward after making the song, and then it's like just a double reward if everybody loves it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's how I feel about it.
Nah, that's what's up, man. So
yeah, you couldn't pay me to stop.
To stop doing it.
Yeah, like I would still do it. Like I'll be in the movies like, this is a waste of my time. I need to be in the studio. Like for real.
Nah, that's when you know you're doing something right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you start to really have that kind of feeling like, I'd rather be doing that. You know, where most people would rather be having fun or in the club or whatever. You know, like you said, you know, people in the studio, they probably want to turn up with whatever gets them going, but it's like you're there, the music gets you going. You know what I mean? Like I'm here, like I'm getting high off of this.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Off of this experience, over knowing that I can make a track that's dope enough to where people will hear it and vibe to it. So I know, you know, on Instagram you post things. So how does it make you feel when you see people, especially people that you probably don't know? Like it's one thing, you know, you get the support of your friends, the people around you. I mean, that's what they there for. They there to uplift you. But it's another thing when it's like a complete stranger. You know what I mean? That's like, I'm sure you catch moments where people was vibing to that music. Like, how do you feel when you see that?
I feel good. I mean, it's kind of like I don't get too drawn up into it just because like I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's kind of like I know every record I make is good to me. It go hard to me. You gonna choose what you like. So it's just like it's more of like, oh, that's the one you like. That's dope. You know what I'm saying? And then I can kind of decide whatever it is I want to do. But my job is to just keep making music. You know, so it feels good. But I think the real moment that I'm just gonna be like, tripping is like when it's like 7,000 people like screaming the words. I think that's the moment that's gonna be more effective than like somebody just vibing to it, you know. Because I know my shit good. Like I don't, you know, it's still subjective. It may not be for you, but somebody gonna like it, you know.
So before we wrap this up, tell us like where to find your music. Just blurt out basically everywhere to find you, from the YouTube, the Instagram, just tell us where can we find 23 Cups. Go ahead.
You can find me everywhere. Everything is 23 Cups. Everything. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. Just type in 23 Cups, hashtag 23 Cups. I'm there. And
what is one thing that you want the audience to know about you that they probably don't know about you?
Right.
You know, what do you want your audience, your people that support you, that are following you, what is something that you want them to know about you they probably don't know about you?
I'm doing all this just to prove a point that you can do whatever it is that you want in life.
I like that. Peace and love, y'all. We gonna end this one right here. You know where to find this podcast. Find this on SoundCloud. Find this on Podbean, Spotify, everywhere. All right, Built for Anything podcast. Thank you to my man right here, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right.